There are so many different types of footballs you can buy. How do you know which one is right for you? Stay tuned, because in this video, I'm gonna break down different types of footballs, compare them against each other, so that you'll know which football is right for you. For each ball, I'm gonna talk about price, grip and texture, age it's meant for, how it spirals, the impact wind has on it, the impact water has on it, and its durability. All right, the footballs that we're gonna be talking about today include the GST, the Franklin 100 recess ball, the Franklin 1000 junior ball, official size composite football, the Duke, which is a real NFL game ball. Juju actually threw this ball up to us in the crowd right before a game last year. And finally, the brand new Wilson Omega. All right, up first, we have the GST. This is probably the most popular football used in college and in high school. The GST comes in different sizes. Now, I know those ages range with each ball, but if you're a younger guy, I highly urge you to start using the bigger footballs as soon as you possibly can. So this ball is best for a serious quarterback. The GST costs $110. When I was a kid, couldn't afford one of these until I was actually in high school. But once I finally got the GST, this never left my sight. I brought it everywhere I went. The GST looks beautiful in the air spiraling due to these white stripes on each side. But I want to talk about the grip and the texture. This ball is made of leather, and if you look very closely at the stripes, you can see stitching around the stripes. This enhances your grip, especially when you need to throw without the laces. But if you look at the laces themselves, they're actually pebbled. That improves grip, improves spin, all across the board. The GST is one of my all-time favorite footballs. If you're in middle school, junior high, high school, college, or even if you love football that much that you want a quality product to be able to play catch with, this might be your go-to ball. Now, it is a leather football. It's built to last. However, you must know how to take care of leather footballs. If you have a leather ball and you don't know how to take care of it, I will talk about it in the end of this video. Stay tuned for that. I'm gonna talk about both of the recess balls together. I call these the recreation football because they're just meant for having fun. If you wanna spend less than $25, these are your options. This is full rubber. I don't know what this is, honestly. This is not real leather, even though it's painted to look like it and everything. Basically, these footballs are almost indestructible. If you don't have a field, you could throw these around on concrete all day, scrape them up, and it's good to go the next day. Both of these footballs are best for if you're in elementary school, even, middle school. You're not too serious about the game. Maybe you are serious about the game, but you live where it rains every day, like Washington, where I grew up. I used to throw one of these every single day because if I had a leather ball and I took it outside, it would only take a couple sessions before the rain would start to ruin the leather. These footballs aren't necessarily the best if you're trying to train to get better, if you're trying to train to be a varsity quarterback or whatever, but there's a time and a place for these footballs. Anything involving water, anything involving just having fun, you don't want to lose a football. These are a great pickup just to have a good time. I would say out of these two, this one has better grip. Both these footballs, if you throw them up high in the wind will move it completely away from where you want it to throw. These types of footballs, even though the rain won't ruin them, you can continue to play in the rain every single day with these footballs. It does get extremely slippery in your hand, and that's why I preach, especially if you're throwing a composite ball in the rain.
Set it lower in your hand to increase the points of contact.
Even though everyone tells you to keep a pocket to throw a spiral, when it's rainy and it's slippery, you want more points of contact so that ball doesn't just slip right out of your hand. And next up is the Duke. The Duke is my all-time favorite football. This is the largest football. It's slightly bigger than the GST. When you first buy a leather football, it's not gonna show up like this. A lot of work is actually done to these footballs to condition them and get them like this. When you first buy a Duke, it'll look more like this. Yes, these are the same football. Now the difference is this one just came out of the package and this one was conditioned by an NFL equipment manager. Now this is the official game ball of the NFL, so it's not cheap. These footballs will run you about $150. But if you seriously love football and you have the money to spend, I'd do it. Because honestly, there's nothing quite like throwing a perfectly conditioned NFL football. It cuts through the wind extremely well. It's pebbled all the way around, all four panels, great grip, great texture. Honestly, I wouldn't buy this ball if you're younger than 10th grade, unless you're really a football fan and you just want a real NFL game ball. You mainly want to play with this on football fields, grass, things like that. You don't want to play with it on concrete, especially with people that don't have hands and can't throw. This football is meant for the experienced football player. Next up, we have the Wilson All-Pro official size composite football. The real NFL ball might hurt your hands, especially if you're just a casual football fan, whereas this one is extremely soft. The grip is amazing. There's great texture on it, especially if you're playing in dry, beautiful weather like what I have here in Southern California right now. The laces feel smooth, it's easy to grip, and it's actually pretty fun to play catch with. It's not the same as throwing an NFL ball. I'd say it doesn't spiral quite as consistently, and it definitely does not cut through the wind as well. But this is also a very durable football. You can play with it in all weather. I was playing with this exact football in the hurricane that hit Southern California a couple weeks ago. Once again, it's a very casual football. If you're not really serious about trying to go D1, trying to go to the NFL, but you just want a ball to have around the house to go play catch with, play with your buddies, you can go take this into the street, you can go take this into the pool, go wherever you want with it. This football runs you about $30 to $35 depending on where you get it at. If you don't quite have the money to get a real leather football, but you need something to train with, it's not a bad option. You know, it doesn't feel the same, it doesn't fly the same, but you can still get work done and you can still get better with it if you absolutely had to. Last, but definitely not least, is the Wilson Omega. This is a brand new football that just launched in 2023, and already you're starting to see colleges switch to using this football over the GST and the Nike footballs. By the way, I don't have a Nike football with me. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of them because they're kind of pointy. I don't really like the way that they're pointy like that. They're okay balls to throw. They're kind of difficult to throw spirals with at times, but let's get back to this one. Wilson actually flew me out last November to do a play test with the Omega football, and they actually recorded my stats. I was kind of blown away because throwing this football, my spiral spin rate was like 75 RPMs faster than the average NFL quarterback. And I was throwing it like 15 miles per hour less than the average NFL speed. So I was throwing easy, casual passes, and this ball was spiraling faster than an NFL quarterback throwing full speed passes with the NFL ball. They have a new technology in this football that moves the center of gravity closer to the middle of the ball, allowing it to spin faster. Now, what does a faster spiral do for you though? Faster spiral will help improve velocity, it'll help it cut through the wind better, it'll increase your throw distance, and overall just provide a better experience playing catch, training, playing in games, etc. The leather on this football is rapid break-in leather. It's gonna start conditioning faster than any of the other leather footballs they've ever came out with. As you can see, it has the same kind of pebbled white laces as opposed to black laces. Now, I don't have a GST Prime with me either, but the GST Prime includes this same extra stitching around the laces. The purpose of this extra stitching is to provide additional grip even further than just the stitching around the white stripes. That alone makes this a great ball to use if you have to throw without the laces, because immediately you know where your hand's at. This football costs $150, and right now it's kind of tough to get because it sells out every single week on Wilson.com. You're in middle school, junior high, high school, college, and you want the best of the best to train and play with. I highly recommend going and picking up a Wilson Omega football. I believe every Tuesday morning they restock the site. You know, if you really want one of these, check the site every day. It's always sold out, but if you can get your hands on one, do it. Ooh, all right, I'm throwing the GST right now. As you can see, it's a classic high school ball, college ball. Now we got this little recess ball. In dry weather, no wind, has good grip. It's a reliable ball if you're a young guy just looking for something to get your feet wet. All right, this is the indestructible recess ball. You can do whatever you want to this and it probably will be just fine. Yeah, it's a decent spiral. It's kind of rough on your hands. It feels like an outdoor basketball. Now I got the Duke, the NFL game ball. It just flies different. You know, if you throw with good mechanics and you throw how you're supposed to, this ball will make it to its target. All right, now I have the All-Pro composite official size football. I'd say this ball is generally pretty easy to throw spirals with though. In windy conditions though, this type of football will get stuck up there and the wind will do whatever it wants with it. It's not gonna cut through the air like a Duke or like a GST would. All right, and we also have the Omega. It has the extra threading, so even if you have to throw without the laces, it doesn't matter. Next up, we have the water test. You know, the spiral starts to go out of the window when the ball gets wet, but I feel like I can still be kind of accurate with it. That one got away from me. A little more. Heads up. All right, now the Franklin ball. Surprisingly, that was still a really good spiral. Honestly, it's not doing too bad when it's wet. All right, now this ball. Let's see how it does. I'm not gonna lie, this ball's doing way better with the water on my hand than I thought it would. Which shows, you know what I mean? This is the ultimate all-purpose football. If you live in an apartment complex, you don't have a field, but you have a parking lot like I did growing up, this is the perfect ball for you. Now the composite leather official size ball, wet hand. Ooh, that's not bad. So yeah, the ball is definitely slipping straight out of my hand when I try to throw the spiral. It's still making it to its target accurately. Like I don't have great control over it through the release. Now we have the Duke. Yeah, it's kind of tough to throw a spiral right now because my hand is soaking wet. I still can be accurate. I still have grip over the ball. More control than arguably any of these other balls I've thrown so far. Yeah, and now the Omega. The Omega's actually gripping really well. The spiral's coming out better than both of the other leather footballs as well, the Duke and the GST. Now I'm gonna play a little bit of long toss so you guys can see what the ball looks like flying through the air. So he's approximately 40 yards away right now, and I'm just gonna show you guys what it looks like to throw a high arcing deep ball and what the ball does in the air. Pretty good. You know, the GST is consistent. Now let's throw the Franklin. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of crazy. This little recess ball, might not be practical to play catch with this and actually get better, but just messing around, this is actually a lot of fun. The outdoor recess ball, whatever. I don't even know what to call it, the rubber ball, how about that? Yeah, as you can see, the wind is taking this ball way to the left. This ball is not designed to cut through the wind. The wind is gonna do what it wants with it, really. All right, now let's see how the composite leather official size ball does. That was a near perfect pass. All right, my favorite ball now, the Duke. Beautiful. Even on a duck, it cuts through the wind, it goes where it's supposed to go. Ew. Last up, let's see how the Omega flies on a deep ball. It's beautiful, it's pretty.
Oh yeah, that was better.
As promised earlier, I'm gonna tell you guys about how to take care of a leather football. Here we have 3 different types of leather footballs. We have a Duke NFL game ball, a GST, and a Wilson Omega. When you first buy these footballs, it's not gonna arrive looking like this or feeling like this. It's gonna be brand new, it's gonna have a little oil on it. Don't panic, there are plenty of resources, YouTube videos, websites that will tell you how to prime and condition your ball to get it into perfect playing condition. Me personally, I like to condition my footballs the organic way, which means when I first get one of these footballs, I grab a rag, I maybe put like a few droplets of water, I start scrubbing all the oil off. If you have a white rag, you'll notice it's gonna turn red all over. Once you feel like you got most of it off, that's when, you know, I just start playing catch with it. You know, I'm playing with it all day. I'm carrying it around with me. I'm tossing it around. And literally over time, my hands just start to work the ball and condition the ball until it starts to feel exactly how I want it to feel. Like I said earlier, this is a brand new NFL football. This is an NFL football, probably my oldest one. I've had this ball for almost 2 years now. So this doesn't just happen overnight. This happens from thousands of passes, catches, etc. If you go buy a brand new leather football and it never gets broken in, that just means you're not practicing enough. Now, I also have to warn you guys, limit use of these footballs in the rain. The thing about leather footballs is when they get wet, when they get waterlogged, you're still able to grip them during that game. So say you're playing a rainy game, it's pouring down rain. Be selective about which footballs you use in that game. Don't just use all your nice game balls in the rain. Save a couple, use only a few, because, you know, after 4 or 5 uses in the rain, the texture won't be the same. The pebbling will start to fade off. You have to take care of these footballs, especially if you're paying, you know, $110, $150 on them. It's not just a football you can go throw in the concrete, throw in the water. This is something that you have to take care of and look out for. All right, there you guys have it. I just tested all of these footballs against each other. We talked about grip, texture, durability, how easy it is to throw a spiral with, what age it's meant for, the effect that water has on it, the effect that wind has on it, and I threw a couple deep balls for you guys to see as well. That's all I got for you guys in this video. If you got something from this video, drop a like, drop a comment, and if you're not already, subscribe. And I appreciate you guys. If you're still here, I'll see you guys in the next one.